Hello, Jerry. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Jerry.
Hello,
Hi.
Jerry.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jerry. Good to see you.
Hello. Hello.
And you're always at the beach. The weather never changes in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I put this on and now I can't figure out how to change it, so I'm just leaving it on.
Welcome
Visual thing.
session.
But at least it's not snowing.
I see Vanessa, Helen. Long time no see. Would you like to turn on your camera if possible?
Yeah, sure.
And I invite everyone to turn on their camera if at all possible, even just for a short time. Oh, Vanessa, maybe. Okay, I thought it was another Vanessa, different person. But thank you for showing up.
Yeah, Vanessa is one of my students.
Oh, I see.
Welcome, Vanessa.
And so is Helen. Yes, hello.
Oh, this
welcome.
is another Helen. Sorry, I thought they were former Fetzer Scholars. Yeah.
They are current trim scholars. They study in.
Who's letting people in? There's still people waiting there.
Should be okay. I don't see anybody waiting.
There was, Timo was waiting for a bit.
Constantine, I can't believe you are asking your students to join at 10 p.m. At late night. You have such good students.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah.
I have never had a class with them. They just arrived from Germany, so they're still in the German time zone. But as I teach them research methods, I thought, why not show them another side of research? So, but I did ask them first if they want to join. So.
Yeah, that's a wonderful opportunity for them, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, Gaetan, you know this one?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The one I was just playing.
Oh, no, I don't know that one. I should.
Qui ressemble à la Louisiane.
Oh, Stacy is here. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Ravi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Ravi.
Morning.
Good morning.
Where are you calling from, Ravi?
Washington, D.C.
Okay, good. That is morning, yeah.
It's not far from me, Ravi.
Where are you located?
In Winchester, Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay. Great.
There's another MSR division. Interesting.
Hi, Toyoko.
Hi, Toyoko. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. What time is it there, Toyoko? In Copenhagen?
3:20.
In the afternoon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not too bad.
Here's Judy.
Judy is here.
Hi, Judy.
Hello, Judy.
Hi, everybody.
Thank
Hello.
you for
Morning.
joining.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Oh, thank you so much for joining.
Oh,
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
Too new?
Yes, good evening.
A good day.
Good evening, yes, yeah. In Delhi, it is around 8 o'clock.
Ah, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
JC, the sunlight is really shining on you. It's like a big halo. It's lovely. Yeah.
It's actually not sunlight, Julia.
Oh, right. God, you're right. Absolutely. Amen, sister. All right.
Yeah, it's not shining on her, it's shining from her.
Exactly.
It's from the inside out.
Absolutely. I stand corrected. Oh, that's cute.
So I'll repeat what Tian was proposing, is that everyone put their camera on, if you can.
Hi, Vaina. Vaina, nice to see you here.
Yeah.
Morning.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Who is the earliest? Judy, for you, it's pretty early now. Is it 6:30?
No, not that early. You know,
No.
it's 8:30, but for me
8:30.
that's early.
Jerry's early.
6:30 for me, though.
Yeah, it's even
6:30
earlier for you,
here.
Jerry.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 6:30. But I've been up since 3, so it's no problem.
Really, Jerry?
Yeah. I always get up around 3.
Ah,
So
that's the holy hour.
What's the weather like in Las Vegas?
75 today and sunny.
Okay. Is anyone in the snow?
Me
Yeah, who's in this?
and Gaten.
Yep.
Lots of snow.
Big snowstorm right now.
Just a little bit left over here in the mid-Atlantic.
Who is co-host from Denmark?
I don't know.
Hi, Sunil.
Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you joining from?
Sunil, I'm joining from Hyderabad in India.
Okay. What time is it there?
Just 5 minutes to 8 evening.
Okay. Good. Thanks for tuning.
I suggest everyone change their name to add their location if possible, just like what Konstantin did.
Good that I did that already because it confused me. Hi, Georgia. Georgia. How to pronounce? Hi. We rode earlier today. Good. How is the little one?
He's okay. I'm gonna go get him now.
Good. Joe, bring him in. We want to see him. Good. How old?
2.5.
Okay, good.
Toddler.
Yeah.
He's a Fetzer baby.
Fetzer,
Yeah.
It was great just looking through the list of registrants. So many familiar names, and also some people who want to join but cannot. Hi, Anita.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. Hi, Judy. Hi,
I haven't
Richard.
seen you in a
Hi,
while.
Julia.
Hi, Anita. Welcome.
Yeah, hi, Tianu.
Oh, I see Charles, Hackney, and Xiaoan. Both
John.
Hi, Xiaoan.
Hi, Xion.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
John.
Sean.
Everyone
Hi,
looks
John.
very nice. Hello, Richard. Anita, did you kind of curl up your hair or something? You look very different.
Yeah, it's little change. And hairstyle. Yeah.
John, where are you joining from today?
I'm from Halifax, Canada. Yeah, it's
John.
10. Oh, sorry.
Okay. I'm from Southwest Michigan, Kalamazoo to be exact.
Good.
Have you been to Michigan?
No, I haven't. But I heard about it in the news recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julia. In a
Hi.
little bit.
And I put together a slideshow, which unfortunately I couldn't manage to put up, and I put the Fetzer building there, and that's in Michigan, no?
That's in Michigan. We are nicely covered by snow right now.
Yeah. A lot of the Fetzer scholars, they are familiar with the name Fetzer, but they have never seen the building, or I've seen the nice staircase, and actually it's the WhatsApp group picture for one of our WhatsApp groups, and I wanted to share it today, so that gives something that people don't associate with Fetzer, but that is every day for you guys. So
it's a great idea, actually. I expressed this, I don't know if it was kind of taken, maybe the time was not ready or more seriously than it should be. Julie, I don't know if you remember. I would love to invite some core member of MSR or otherwise a Fetzer Scholar Group to have a retreat at Fetzer. Then you will see in your own eyes, and then you will fall in love with this beautiful campus right away. I can see Julia, you're gonna love it. Richard, bring your guitar, of course.
It's the most magical place. I'm convinced of it.
Oh, I didn't see you, Stacy. I'm glad you joined. Okay. Yeah, Stacy was here. She can tell you.
Just a reminder, it's time to get started.
Okay.
Konstantin.
okay, let me share. Okay, do we see the screen?
Yes.
Very good. So, welcome everyone to Emerging Voices in MSR, Insights from 5 years of Fetzer Scholars, which is part of our MSR Research Committee webinar series. And you have a QR code here, which will be on the next few slides. You can see our program today with Emerging Voices, a look into our MSR Fetzer program. We are really thrilled to welcome you today and see you here. We is the MSR Research Committee led by Tian Yuan, the representative at large for the research committee, Gaetan, who is the new MSR tech lead, then Stacy, who is a 2021 Fetzer Scholar and was like one of the first faces for me and led us 2023 Fetzer Scholars. And then in between is Naida, 2022 Fetzer Scholar and co-host for today and the host of our next webinar. She's already working on the next one. And also, I mean, looking at the list of participants today, it's actually, we should rename this and call it the Who is Who of MSR. And I could talk the next 90 minutes just about the wonderful people that are here in this room and what they've done for me or what they mean to me. And I'm sure a lot of you could do the same. So this is really wonderful. And this spirit that the people here kindled, this is what we want to share today. And I'm sure that's what everybody will experience today. What do we offer? We're gonna have an introduction, and I'm very honored to say directly by Xiaoan Li from the Fetzer Institute, who made that all possible. So he will introduce the program and Fetzer to us in a few minutes. Then we want to engage you in the breakout groups and hear from you what you value in the MSR community and how we will keep it alive. Then we have 3 paired talks, a Fetzer Scholar and the mentor. So we're gonna have that for 8 minutes each. And then with Judy Neal, like the godmother of the program, and Richard, who is always the mastermind in the back, to talk about our 5-year analysis of the Fetzer program. So what's the impact of such a program? What does it do? How did it change things, and what did it change? Then we're gonna have a discussion. So we have Q&As at the end. We have 20 minutes for that, and then a few closing announcements. And yeah, please note that the webinar is recorded, so there will be recording that we'll share with you later. Yeah, to get through all this smoothly, we need to be grounded. So I invite Naida now to please lead us in meditation.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to sort of do a meditation. What I'm going to do is what I like calling a grounding. So I invite you
Naida,
to...
your mic isn't very loud.
Oh, it's not very loud. Really? Oh, okay. Is this better? Is this better? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would just invite you to relax, settle into the space where you are. Put your feet flat on the ground, and if you are sort of holding your arms close, then rest them to your sides. And what I'm going to be doing is striking this lovely singing bowl and reading a poem. And so in this moment, it's just to sort of listen. You can close your eyes and just feel and hear the words that I will be recounting to you. And I will begin. Never forget, you are a breathing accident of chance. Ample with reverberations of the impossible, a bright, buoyant moment in the dark indifference. Stream of time, you're made to bask in the rays of love and blaze with the readiness for life. Be you, be whole, be true. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Good. John, over to you.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you friends, old ones and new ones. A good morning, afternoon to all of you. It's really a joy. I hope you are with me right now so you can sense my excitement. A lot of joy to be with all of you again for this Fetzer Scholars reunion and to see so many familiar faces alongside new leaders who have been carrying this work forward. I'm very grateful to all of you. And as someone originating from China, I'm busy celebrating Chinese New Year. I pondered the idea of New Year not necessarily asking me to be a new person for sake, rather what means to return to what's considered essential. So it's always a good time, it's a good practice when we return. Return to good memories, return to the good work, and look at it from a new lens and celebrate, wow, we've been traveling so far. So I want to provide a little reflection here. Hard to imagine 2016, 17 when I met Judy Neal, a mentor in my whole life. So when I met her, we started an idea, and then I met new MSR leaders, and by 2019, we kind of get started. So when Fetzer first partnered with MSR, let me just repeat the name again, Management, Spirituality, and Religion, MSR Community, my hope was very simple and sincere. I wanted to support emerging scholars, which are many of you on the call today, who are doing very serious work at the intersection of inner life and then the whole world of organizations, a lot of times in the context of business and management, right? And I chose to believe that scholarship could be rigorous and spiritually grounded at the same time. And when Judy and I and many other leaders, we talk about, and we believed that this field, the field that you're a member of, deserved both intellectual legitimacy, which a lot of times we're struggling having them, and a community that could hold and form all of us. Something not only the ideas. It's hard, it's incredibly satisfying to look back over the 5 cohorts. We invested roughly around $280,000, and it supported nearly 100, I believe it was 96 Fetzer Scholars. On paper, that's a modest number, but in reality, that I know I was there with all of you, it became a powerful field building experiment to Fetzer Institute. The impact study that you put together so nicely make this very visible. Scholars felt encouraged to pursue MSR research. Many of you shared that you felt less alone. And we're bearing witness of a global cohort that took place and spanning dozens of countries. I believe it's 26 to 28. And what moved me most was that spiritual practices and formation were very central, was not any time a decoration at all. They were essential to how this community gathered, learned, and became. And this is very rare in the academic spaces that I know. And it is very precious, on the other hand, to Fetzer, whose mission has been changed over time. Currently, we focus on build the spiritual foundation for a loving world. Let me repeat. help build the spiritual foundation for a loving world. We're talking about individually and collectively and the society at large. It is time for me to really to name the connective work that made this very possible. I shared how much I owe gratitude to Judy, Richard, who's here, has been along the way, Joan, Julia, and this project went through 5 generations of MSR leaderships. And there's so many mentors who really helped design the program, help hold the space, and kept the invitation open. Thanks to all of you. I, of course, want to thank my Fetzer colleague, if you still remember them, Jackie Stack, who helped many of you with processing payment, reimbursement, and all those things. And it's just so much, and so many people work behind the scene, made all this possible. I will close with 2 quick points. The first one is, stepping back, what do we learn from this? Think about it. Yeah, there was a report already, captured so much learning. But if we have to kind of a nutshell, put in a kind of one sentence, one language, what have we learned? For me, sitting at Fetzer for 15 years, can you imagine? 15 years with the Fetzer Institute. For me, it's a reminder of something we at Fetzer have tried to do throughout our history. I want you to hear, I want you to listen to me carefully. For almost 40 years of Fetzer history, we have a tendency to place carefully timed support behind people, particularly early and the younger generation of scholar and a leader, and the communities who are aligned with love, meaning, and the sacred dignity of human life. When the investment is relational, not transactional, when it's paired with spiritual practices and the community, and the key one is here, when it's rooted in a long view, okay? It can help a field to grow up and help leaders grow deep and wide. That's my first point, what I really have learned. Then my second point is a wish. My invitation today to all of you, for those who cannot join us, hopefully spiritually, feel the invitation. My invitation today is also very simple. Let's celebrate what has emerged, honor all the mentors who helped you become who you are today, and keep building the field that really refuses the false choice between so-called excellence, but then excellence in a way includes wholeness. Let's keep asking better questions, deep questions, and keep doing rigorous research, and then keep practicing together. Okay? Trusting the inner transformation that makes our work, make all of us human, make all of us spiritually deeply connected, will bear fruits. It has already been that way. So thank you for letting me and the Fetzer Institute walk with you in this chapter. I'm so deeply grateful to all of you and very hopeful for what comes next. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you for your personal dedication to make this all possible. And following up really on what Sean said and how he reflected, what makes MSR special for you and what's the value that you see in MSR. So we're going to be engaging, interactive in the breakout room session. And the first question I want you to think about is, what is the most meaningful value or spark that you find in the MSR community? And you might think maybe it's a spiritual home or a friendship or a research collaboration or some feedback you get. So we're going to be in small groups. There's no need to report back. Just have a nice conversation for 5 minutes. We see each other in the big room in 5 minutes.
And Konstantin, the small breakout rooms will not be recorded in the recording session. So
thank you very much.
Confidential.
Yep. So be free, share whatever you want. The rooms are not recorded. Thank you. Yeah. See you in 5 minutes.
Five minutes was too less a time to discuss the positives that we got from MSR.
Yeah, definitely. But 5 hours wouldn't be enough.
True.
Yes. True.
Yeah. Good.
So I think we have a pair coming up.
Yeah. So next
Yep.
one is with Stacy and Sean. Love is a basis for friendship, kinship, and collaboration.
Thanks, Constantine. Shawan, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Well, I guess hopefully you're not getting tired of seeing Sharon again. I'm just being volunteer basically. So I want to ask you a few questions, Stacy. You and I
Okay.
met when you became a Fetzer Scholar. Then I really incredible work and relationship just naturally took place. I appreciate you more than you know. I'm gonna share since you became a scholar, the way you contribute to this MSR community, the Fetzer Scholar community, by way of your most active participation. And then the story actually goes on. Stacy and then started to collaborate with me and with Fetzer on a different capacity. And she and I actually helped and we edited and wrote a nice book together, which came out last year. Just that's my view about what means if we be patient, give it long term.
Yeah.
Okay, that's been shared. I have 3 questions prepared just for you, Stacy.
Okay. All right. Sounds
Okay.
great.
Yeah. Share with everyone, and where were you, before you were selected?
I was okay. So I was in beginning my candidacy in my doctoral program, and before that, I had been doing some adjunct teaching and some coaching, but floating around a little bit and kind of looking for space. And I think when I landed on my topic, I was introduced to Judy Neal, the awesome Judy Neal, who agreed to be on my committee. And one of the first things she said to me is, "You've got to meet Shawan. You've got to meet him." And I remember the first time we met, it was, I think of this term Kalyana Mitta, which is Pali for spiritual friends. And even though we had business to talk about and all that, it wasn't about that at all. It was about our just deep spiritual roots, seeing spirit in each other, having this like instant love connection, divine love, and just like seeing the light in each other. And I think that has persisted, that ability for us to see the light in each other and for that to be what leads us and what unites us.
You know always how much that means to anyone who's receiving this kind of compliment. I feel the same about you, just so you know, Stacy. Okay, if we can stay on track, my second question is actually to say, you were selected as a Fetzer Scholar in very actively participating in the community. Share with us with some healthy level of details or specificity, what really has been your experience as a community member, as a Fetzer Scholar?
Well, I think I've never been someone who's necessarily been recognized for my academic work, or I'm kind of like always kind of in the middle of the pack. And I think MSR was really the first time I felt really seen and celebrated and honored, and felt special. Like we're all special, but it was the first time for me that I had felt like that. It was such a gift. And I feel like there's something about MSR that allows people to feel really seen and accepted and celebrated in a way that maybe they aren't in other parts of their life. So that's what it's been for me. I think MSR is a really special place. Yes, we're an academic organization, but it's so much more than that.
Beautiful. To wrap up, my final question, you and I came up with this nice little title, Love as a Basis for Friendship, Kinship, and Collaboration. And really kind of be real in how do you actually define love and or spirituality in this 5, 6, or 7 years of relationship?
Yeah, we talked about this last week, and it was such a lovely conversation. I really enjoyed it. But I think for me, spirituality and love really has to do with, like I said, seeing the light in other people, seeing the divine perfection in every person, and meeting soul to soul and love to love and light to light, not getting distracted by our human imperfections and our behaviors, but instead really seeing the best and highest in each other, the possibility that exists there, and knowing that we're all deeply connected and part of something much larger.
Any final words you want to share before we get to the second pair?
No, but Zhaoan, I just want to honor you for who you are and what you've brought to MSR and what you've brought to me. Working with you on this book was part of something else, but it was so wonderful. And I told you and your colleague Michelle, who we worked on the book with, best clients ever. You guys were the most wonderful people to work with, and I feel so lucky that I got that opportunity with you.
Once again, I feel exactly the same, if not more than that. And Stacy, thanks again. Our life pathways will come across for sure.
Beautiful. Thank you for everything.
Back to you.
Thank you. That's so beautiful to listen to also, that in the preparation of this, you guys had to come together and reflect. And so the reunion already started actually with the preparation, and that's just so wonderful. I'm gonna listen to that recording, I think, a few times. Good. Thank you. Next, we have another really important pair, not Fetzer Scholar and mentor, but two instrumental people, Judy Neal, the godmother of the program, and Richard Major, who's always a spin doctor in the back. And they have been, they're going to tell us what we found in the 5-year Fetzer analysis in 2 parts. So this is part 1. You have slides to share, Richard?
I do.
So I stop sharing. Can you here stop share? Okay.
Well, hi, Judy.
Hi, Richard.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is so moving to see everybody and to have so many memories come flooding in of our times together and the difference that this program has made. It's just a joy to be in this reunion. And Konstantin, thank you so much for everything you've done to pull this together. You're amazing.
So we're going to just kind of set the ground for a couple of things around the impact study, mainly about the program, first of all. And then I have one main question for Judy. And then we'll go through a bit of the impact of how the Fetzer program had impact per the 2023 survey that we did with the participants. So a couple of slides to start with, and a few comments. So Zhaoan shared the vision and the mission earlier of the Fetzer Institute, and all of this is pretty much known by all, but it's for sure the first time that there's been such benevolent funding for MSR and that's created what we have today. And the two kind of takeaways from the study is that it was transformational for individuals, for the division, and it highly influenced the transforming from the interest group to become an AOM division. And it's been transforming and continuing to transform the MSR field of research. And the high energy that the program created over the 5 years, Shawan was explaining, 5 different leadership teams in MSR, and so many different aspects that have just kind of, bubbled up and taken energy and a lot of involvement. So we'll dive into all of that a bit more. So here's the question. I was thinking about this program and about how important it would be to find, other funding entities to help MSR create the same kind of funding to welcome young scholars. And I was thinking, actually, Judy, it's the relationship that made the thing happen, right? I mean, we can have slides and theories and strategies and all the stuff that we teach, but actually, what I'd like you to speak about it, and this will follow up on what Shawan was saying earlier, is how did you start working with Fetzer? And when? I'm not only asking how, but when did that lead to fruition or, the coming of a program?
Yeah, thank you, Richard. And thank you so much for being on this whole journey with me and with the team that has really implemented a transformational program. Shawan mentioned, I think it was 2016, actually going back before what Shawan talked about when we were first met in person. I got a phone call one day, and Shawan was the person on the other end of the line, and he told me he was calling from Fetzer Institute. I had been to Fetzer Institute maybe 10 years before as part of a research program on leadership and spirituality. And I just felt such an immediate connection when I first went to Fetzer. It is a magical place, and I do hope that some of you get to go there. It gives you hope for the world. Anyway, he called and he said, we're looking for someone to do some research on spirituality and workplace spirituality, pulling together a list of companies that are doing work, doing an annotated bibliography, and then a research paper about where the field has been and where it's going. And someone recommended your name, and we want to know if you're interested. And I went, interested? I've been doing this work for so long and didn't know what to do with all this data I was collecting. And so we worked together for a couple of years, pulling all of that together, which is on the MSR website. That it was funded by Fetzer Institute, this annotated bibliography, this literature review, and so on. And that information keeps getting updated. So it's a living document funded by Fetzer Institute that had a vision of the importance of the workplace as a place to practice the spiritual path. And so Shawan and I became friends. To know Shawan is to become a friend. Just, there's just so much love there and so much wisdom and guidance. And so I began inviting him to conferences and to be a part of things around workplace spirituality. And so he came to the Academy of Management, and there was a board meeting that year, and I was on the executive committee, and I asked them, could I invite Shawan, because I knew of his vision, and I wanted him to learn more about MSR. And so he came to that board meeting where we were talking about kind of MSR numbers weren't growing, maybe even falling off a little bit. And there was a struggle to think about the future. We were an interest group. We didn't know if we would get approved again as an interest group. There was just kind of this
Judy, was that in Atlanta?
Was it? I don't remember.
I have the memory of a dinner and Shawan speaking and everyone just like, listening to the wisdom alive coming. I don't know if that was the
That was
case
when Michael was the chair.
Yes, Michael
right.
Pearson. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's this kind of people are in this energy of we don't know what to do and things are not so great and Shawan says he looks at me and he says, Judy, why don't you call for a moment of silence? And so I thought that's brilliant, and I said, let's have a moment of silence, and we all got very quiet, and there was just this beautiful shift in energy and such a sense of connection that we were there for a reason. And then out of that came the idea of funding new scholars, because one of the issues is it's hard to recruit young people who can't afford to come to the academy, and they have such a struggle. The people new in their career paths around workplace spirituality and faith at work, they have such a struggle with getting support, emotional and spiritual support and intellectual support in their departments, because this is an emerging field. And so Shawan suggested, what if we gave scholarships to people and they could come to the academy and get supported and nurtured? And that was the beginning. That was the transformative moment that changed so many lives and expanded the field, the field of MSR and the field of energy. Shawan, that was a divine moment. I really felt it.
And I remember that like, because there was a lot of cognitive busyness and it was kind of unsettled, and I remember very well that moment, like, okay, let's stop the bullshit.
Yeah, what will make a difference?
Okay.
And this has made
you.
a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Shawan. So, just a few words about this is the report. Everyone has received it. I'm not going to spend any time on it, but the team, we had San Wang, Stacy Chappell, Judy, Siddhartha, Konstantin, and I believe that we had Julia at a certain point as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then a year's work, 3 surveys.
Did you say Stacy? Stacy was on there. 2 Stacys.
Yeah, there was Stacy Günther as well. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so we missed that. So we did a pretty good analysis of all that. So just a few words. These were the different years, and if you have the pictures on the right-hand side of the screen, you may not be able to see the dates, but the different years of the program. And these were 70 respondents, so everyone did not respond to every question. And we had about 54. It was close to half from the Western Hemisphere, Northwestern Hemisphere, Europe, and North America, and about 45% from Asia, very strongly represented, Africa, South America, and Australia. So, of course, highly diverse group, and that was in part because of the criteria that we had set for the access to the scholarships. As of 2023, we had different people in different positions. Of course, a number of Fetzer Scholars were still doctoral students. And the main themes of the impact are the ones that have come back recurringly. Moral support, confidence to do what I really believe is the most important. And we had one example, and I do not believe that Anastasia is here, but I looked on the registration list. I didn't see her registered, but she went back to South Africa and actually convinced her head of department and then her thesis director that she really wanted to study MSR type of things. And it gave her that strength to do that, to feel
Well,
that she
and the
wasn't
other
alone.
thing is it got them interested because before they were telling her, no, you shouldn't do research in this field. It's not good for your future. And then when she came back from the academy, she said, look, the Academy of Management supports this. And they went, oh, this is interesting. Oh, maybe we should do some research in this area too. So it expanded into her whole department. It was really thrilling to see what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beyond, the connections and the collaborations, there are a number of people who have shared that their personal and spiritual growth has also been impacted. The fact of having a sangha, of having a community with whom to share one's path and to learn from and to grow with. So just a couple more slides. So you can see here the statistics of the questions and the number of answers and a few verbatim. Becoming a peer reviewer and volunteering to support MSR communications. Finding peace in oneself. Benefiting a job search. Who would have thought? And someone who's using MSR type of research in their corporate activities. So more data, more graphs. We don't need to spend much time on this, but these are the different levels of engagement that people have expressed and how they have actually benefited from the program. And then finally, the one greatest thing. So pursuing research that's important to me. So here, I don't have the total number of participants to this question, but 21%, a fifth, another fifth speaking about the research community. So one of the interesting things that I found in doing the 5-year reviews for MSR in 2018 and 2023 is that we have all this data from the programs, and we send out the survey and we ask people what did they like the most about the program. And MSR people really, really like the PDWs. And this year, I believe that we've doubled the number of PDWs compared to last year. So it's even more demand and more interest for experiential, interactive, getting together and exploring things together versus listening to talking slides like what I'm doing on the screen right now. And
wonderful. Oh, okay.
How have you felt? Yeah, one more minute. How have you felt support as an Fetzer Scholar? We did have a couple of people who hadn't found support, but a lot of support and just like informal and formal coaching around, paper writing, around teaching, and as you can see, also spiritual development and guidance. So that is it, I believe. The roles that people have taken. And this would need to be updated. I didn't spend any time updating it, looking at how many people from the Fetzer Scholars who are actually online today are now involved, but we have a whole new, intake at the executive committee level. And thank you to all of you who are getting involved even more.
And yeah, it will definitely go up after today's webinar. Yeah. Good. So thank you for this insight. And next we have Naida and Julia talking about cultivating new horizons. And Julia already asked if she still has her 8 minutes. Yes, you do. I look forward.
Hello. Hi. Hi, Julia. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. All right. So to get us started, what I thought I would do is read the little paragraph that I sort of put together very quickly to define our flash discussion, because I think it's just actually in itself a lovely encapsulation of the topic and this cultivating of new horizons. So I'm going to read it really quickly. In different ways, the MSR community seemed to be an abundant feast of possibilities in the space in between scholar and practitioner. Research that transforms the researcher and those human and non-human beings that are touched by the project. Path-breaking new ideas for writing about and conducting studies, leveraging emerging ideas in physics, challenging the mind and body splits, cause and effect logic, objectivity. So the whole idea of having conversations about that whole positionality, and an energetic perspective on the power of relationships, as we've been discussing already, in learning and research and teaching and leading. And it was just this connectivity that, at least for me, created this new horizon space. And so to sort of kind of start, I wanted to use that as the base, but then I want to use this as the jumping off point. And I'm just going to read this title, and it might spark a memory, Julia. The title of the session in the 2021 online meeting was Indigenous Ceremony and Ways of Knowing for Transformative MSR Research. This was an online session that I attended live 2021. Due to COVID, everything went online. This was before I started my doctoral journey, and I was sort of beginning to search around the idea of indigeneity, the idea of what would that mean for me, how would I approach this subject. And so this session was like the session that not answered my questions, but gave me a sense that this conversation even existed. And it was the facilitation that you did in this session. There were really amazing academics there. But what it was that I found was the way in which that you welcomed people into the space, the way that you engaged the actual panelists themselves in this conversation around something that I thought would never really be done in a management space. And it was this that sort of gave me this opening of possibilities, this vision that listening to, and I call them elder academics. This is my honorific to say, you were blazing trails way before me. Gregory Kahate was there, Karma Claw, Kiri Dell, Ella Henry, Joseph Gladstone, Lila June, Bobby Banerjee was there, and Grace Ann Rosalie were also part of this conversation. And I was just so inspired by the collective that was there. And I'm just kind of, that then led me to say, I think I'm going to reach out to this Julia. And then I sent you an email and I was like, hi, I'm this little doctorate person, and gosh, I hope that you might find like 10 minutes to want to talk to me. And you were like, of course. And then after that, it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. How do you remember that?
Oh, Naida, I'm so filled with gratitude because, in the life, right, we kind of just do things and then sometimes don't have time to really reflect. And when you brought this up in a previous conversation, I recalled pulling that together. And to me, I felt like I was in a candy store, like a kid in a candy store. It was delicious to be in a space like MSR where this could be pulled together, right? Like I felt welcomed to draw in Lila June Johnston, who is at the time she was working on her PhD in indigenous food systems. And she was also a recording artist. And so she opened with a ceremony, and Gregory Kahete is kind of like the elder scholar in terms of Native science in the academy, an educator. And then I went into AOM and working with the Indigenous Caucus, invited people used to navigating that boundary between management and indigeneity. And I just felt like carried in this bubble of of play almost, where look at all these wonderful new ways we can imagine contributing to scholarship and management. And so when you reach out to me, I was like, oh, I get to play with somebody, you know? I was like, oh, and it's just been a delight to continue to see how things unfold. You just never know how things will move. And now you're almost, I mean, we've known each other for years. We've had many conversations. You know, it's just been a beautiful emergence. And it's only in a space like MSR that I know that I could have this ability to bring my whole self as a scholar and my whole self as a spiritual being. And I'm grateful for people like you, Nida, who are younger and who are doing more, you know, and building on you know what we co-create together.
And I wanted just to ask you to share before we close our part this idea of creating space for those that are behind you. And that was just something that and part of the reason why I'm very excited to be part of the research committee is because I feel like I want to give back to the energy that I received. So it was this opportunity as a Fetzer Scholar, but also as part of the larger MSR community that welcomed me in person when I was there, but the sense that there was an already community that was welcoming because of an online space and me attending your session. And I think that was very interesting because after that, it was just building and building from there. But I think what I found was a spark and was an opening, but also a space giving. And that's not always the feeling that I had gotten when I'm in academic spaces, that people are willing to offer space for growth of others versus closing the space. Right?
Yeah, yeah. In higher education, I think it's like the way I was trained, there's a box and you define yourself in that box. And it takes, you know, inner courage, I think, to question, to see that box, to question that box, and then to start poking outside of it. And so, as we've talked before, I've always imagined myself as kind of like the plow in the front of a train, you know, that they call it a cow catcher. And so I'm this cow catcher and I make the cows, which are the obstacles, the systemic obstacles, the, you know, the shoulds in academic, you know, parlance. And so I just want to push out the obstacles for you guys in my life at this stage.
Thank you so much for taking the time for this short exchange, and I will send it back to you, Constantine.
Thank you. Beautiful. Richard.
Okay, back to us. Back to Judy and I. Well, I'm still just taking in all those, you know, what people find. We've had a lot of different sessions, and when people come to a session and they don't know MSR, and this happened last year and the year before, every year, they're like, this is so different. People are nice. They look at you. They welcome you. They're interested. So, okay, back to our survey and to our questions about what can we do next. So first of all, I'm just picking up where I left it. These are the perspectives shared by the executive committee members who were on the executive committee during the period of 5 years. So, you know, count 20 something people. How would you summarize the impact of the Fetzer program? Energy, 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 energy. It's all about, you know, engagement, new ideas, a lot of energy, deepening, you know, connections, deepening research. So overall, extremely positive effect. I did ask a question in the survey, like, any challenging effects. And I think one person said, well, we're not doing enough for them. And that was about it. So here we have the stats. Scholars involved in MSR activities, 94% of the current and past MSR exec members who participated could say that. And the question was, what do you recall concretely? I was asking for real experience, not just impressions. What can you recall specifically? So higher levels of attendance, learning things from the Fetzer Scholars, increased sense of shared spirituality within MSR. So really a collective effect beyond the individual effect. Then the impact on the field. And this was just a very modest survey of how many publications and conference sessions the scholars had participated in. And of course, the more recent scholars, 22, 23, there were fewer of them who had time to actually produce publications or conference sessions than the older cohorts. And to be noted is the boat 6, boat 3, I believe. I probably have some others wrong. I think Raisa knows exactly what we're talking about. And the bibliometric research that was done on MSR publications, that was a very, how would you say, very serious piece of the division review and what enabled us to become a division. So thank you to all the Fetzer Scholars who participated in that. And finally, to what extent have you been more focused since you've been a Fetzer Scholar? And again, we can see the averages changing. The more people have time to integrate their field of research and the more they actually focus on it. And then how do you include MSR topics in your teaching? Oops, sorry for that. And here we have mainly, I'm trying to move part of my screen, contemplative practice, MSR research models, and guest speakers. So to Judy, I'm going to stop the screen share. And I have more questions for Judy. So if we look at the relationship is something that helped bring the program to life. And of course, the connection with Shawan, Fetzer, and Institute. Now, what could we learn about how we did things, what we did, if we project into the future? So what would you see as the main challenges and strengths that a program like this entails within AOM? And I would put aside anything having to do with the first Trump administration and the visas, and anything having to do with COVID, because that was just like, but so what do you see could be the things to be vigilant about and to look at in the future if we want to be even better at doing this?
Yeah, that's such a very important question, because we have one of the last things we did on the Fetzer Scholarship Committee was begin to explore whether there's other possible funders for future scholarships. And I get emails every year from someone saying, is there going to be a scholarship this year? That there are particularly people from outside the US, from countries where there is not funding for doctoral students to go to academic conferences. It just really limits this international and diverse involvement. And it limits those who are new and on the cutting edge of the research. And so it's heartbreaking to say, no, I'm sorry, we don't have any more funding. Mm-hmm. And so there's the one side of the opportunity for more people to be able to come to MSR for us to be able to support people. Again, I mentioned before how this is an emerging field, so we have to build legitimacy, and the academy really helps to build legitimacy. If someone can say, I'm presenting a paper at the Academy of Management on Zen Buddhism in Canada, and the department is like, oh, the Academy of Management, maybe you're not crazy. And the story we told about Anastasia. So to be able to have more funding would be terrific. And we did speak to an organization in Singapore that we began exploring, and we probably should follow up again on them. They were interested in supporting people from Asia, because there's not a lot of within Asia there is not as much professional support for people doing this work on consciousness, on sustainability, and how that impacts our humanity, and these major systemic topics. So that was one thing, is to look at how might we support other students. The other thing that you mentioned, Richard, that we hear in several different ways is that we wish he could have done more for the current Fetzer Scholars, particularly in terms of mentoring. And every year we have tried to create mentoring programs, and it's never quite taken. Well, this year Vineet is in looking at really hitting the ground running with a mentoring program, not just for Fetzer Scholars, but for any MSR scholars who feel like they want to mentor or be mentored. We have a lot of senior scholars that's like, I'm at that stage of my life where I don't have to prove anything, and I would love to be able to support younger scholars, and many of us, like I'm at that stage where I'm not publishing anymore. I don't care about that. I'm not teaching. So how can I give back? And every time that I do find a way to give back to emerging scholars, I get so much more. I learn from, I was just doing a little private exchange with Stacy Gunter about how much I learned from her and her dissertation, how that forwarded my own thinking and my own work. And so we grow as senior scholars. We grow from what they're doing on the edge of their research, and we grow from the technology and the new methodologies that they bring. So it's a wonderful co-mentoring, was something we talked about in the past. Co-mentoring process of how can we do that. And I love the design of what we did today, where there's these paired conversations between Fetzer Scholars and senior scholars. That's a wonderful model of what we need to do more of. Go ahead.
And we're going to have the breakout group where the young scholars who are here today can say exactly what they need. And then we can try to tailor-make the solution for them. Yeah. Use all that knowledge that you guys have and bring the right people together. Yeah. Thank you.
Do I have one more minute, Konstantin?
Sorry, Richard, we are running out of time.
Okay, I don't. Okay, we don't. Great.
Good. Then now I know I have 10 years. Thank you. Good. So thank you. We still have wonderful contribution from Aisha with Joanne next. And then we have one more breakout room, and then we have then you get your minute, Richard.
No, we have to take me off of the screen now.
Should we start?
Yeah. Do you have slides?
No.
Then I share your pictures that I have. Okay, just start.
I do have 2 slides that I just put together, and I want to just show them silently. It is basically no text or anything. I just want to show them quickly, and I'll do that right now. It's, as I said, it's no text. It's just showing the last time we were together. and there is this bond. So this topic will be about authenticity, and I know that Haisa will take the lead on starting. And I wanted to show the second slide also, and I will talk about that later. There are two titles here. These are projects that we're currently working on, but more about that in a while.
Yeah, so I will share in the chat a paragraph that we wrote on authentic relationships, and well, for those that don't know me, just let me briefly introduce the context of this relationship and how it started. So by chance, I Googled spirituality in business. 6 years ago, I was already doing my PhD, and I saw a French group. And I went to Paris and I met with this French group at Paris 2, and they put me in a WhatsApp group. My French is awful, so I was not very engaging with that group. But then Richard shared a call for the Promising Dissertation Award and the Fetzer Scholarship. And I applied for it in 2021. I got both. And I loved the group. I loved the meetings. And then I applied. I sent an email to Tom and said, I want to volunteer with you. And Tom replied, who are you? Why do you want to volunteer? Tell me something about you. And then I started to volunteer on Bolt 4 with Tian and Tom and Ramya on the bibliometric analysis and the paradigms on JMSR. And after meeting with Nick a few times, because I think he was the chair or the PDW chair back then, so he emailed us, oh, we need volunteers. And I said, I want to be a volunteer. And then he said, would you like to meet? And I'm a very introspective person. And I was like putting an effort in meeting people and trying to be more social. And they said, yes, I want to meet. I don't know you, but yeah, let's meet. Then I met with Nick and he gave me amazing tips. And he invited me to join Bolt 5, where I met Joan and Stacy, and Vivek and Susan and many others on Bolt 5, and where we conducted the bibliometric analysis of the MSR field that supported the application for the division. Okay. After a few months, Susan sent a text, on the WhatsApp group for the Fetzers, something like this, or a mail, I don't remember, who wants to volunteer to be with Joan? And I said, I want. And then I became associate program chair with Joan in 2022. And then 23 with Tom, and associated chair of the division with Joan, 24-25. Because we worked so well together and I really love Joan and everything we do together. Then I said, let me continue volunteering with this person, because her drops of wisdom and her warm heart and everything she teaches and how she likes to learn as well is so good. And the things that we shared, and I want
Raisa,
to keep going with this person.
Raisa,
Hi.
question.
Hi. Yes.
Hi. Are you the associate past chair this year?
Yes. Yes. Somehow, yes. But yes, I just would like to share with some of you that don't know me this timeline. And well, as a PhD student, I was searching for a community, and I found this community within MSR. And Joan has been this key figure, this mentor, and this second mother for me for this past 5 years. And when Constantine asked about people who could be paired with me, I gave 3 names. I gave Joan, Nick, and Jody Fry, because these are the 3 mentors that I had on MSR. But I said, like, Joan is the one that I've been the closest, because in terms of participating in MSR, not doing extra things, academic things, like, is Joan. Joan is is the figure that I look, and then I want to I want to be like her. You know, she is just like a role model, someone that inspires me every day. So yes, but this is what I would like to say, and really praise the amazing person that Joan is, and how much I love you, Joan.
Thank you so much. I think I'll take 2 minutes to also share my perspective on this Fetzer scholar, that is Haisa. I don't think I have ever really in person encountered a more brilliant spirit than her. And I'm not saying that because she's here, but because she really is. I mean, what this woman does with bibliometric analysis, and how she is willing and eager to teach the older, more seasoned scholars who don't know jackass of those kind of things, and she just brings us in, and she uses our eagerness to learn to help us get further. We just had that paper published, by the way, right? It took us years because the topic on workplace spirituality and how it grew over the decades is not necessarily something that every journal jumps on. But Haisa just kept on it and kept on it and kept on it, and it was just recently published in a Sage journal. So we're very proud of that. But once I saw that there was such a reciprocity in working together, I just could not let her go. And indeed, I see her as my youngest daughter. She's about 10 years younger than my youngest, but she's just everything that a daughter should be. So I really feel that there is what I respect mostly in Haisa, as well as in several of the other Fetzer scholars, is that learning atmosphere that is there, that keeps us, the more senior scholars, going, and that inspires us again. Because I am also getting at the end of my publishing career, and the second picture that I showed earlier depicted that we are currently working on two projects together, two projects where we're bringing other scholars in, one with Palgrave and another one with Edward Elgar. The Palgrave one is a smaller project, and the Edward Elgar is a huge handbook. But, we do it with the three of us, actually. It's myself, Haisa, and Sharda. And the bond that we have together is we're coming from the same neighborhood. Where we're from the hood in South America. That's the secret that we have together. Haisa is from Brazil, and Sharda and I are from Suriname, and we are neighbors in South America. And so these three girls from South America banged up on other people to get published and do good projects on workplace spirituality. And I'm very proud that I can call Haisa my daughter, but also my mentor, because the younger generation can also mentor the older generation. So it's a reciprocal, mutual relationship of mentorship. Thank you for listening to my piece of, my testimonial.
Thank you so much, Joan, and thank you, Constantine and Tian and Getan and all the organizers for this space. It's really good to be able to share.
It's just positive energy flowing from you too, and I'm soaking it up.
Oh, great! That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, and thank you for sharing. And of course, thank you for all the work that you have done before I joined. That made it what I found. And after what Haisha shared in our breakout group that we're gonna do next, I wouldn't be surprised if more than one person says, "How can we keep MSR alive? Volunteer."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I love the spirit. Okay, so no, it's not discussion next. It's where is it?
A breakout room session.
Yes, and I think we have 10 minutes approximately left.
Okay, good. The next breakout session is well, in the report we found that a lot of the scholars said they felt lonely before they found MSR, and that's what you two just shared. So for this final breakout, we want to know what is one specific way this community can support your emerging voice as we move forward together. Maybe there's a challenge that you face in being heard, or do you have a particular idea of how we can stay connected? So let's talk about that for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we use up the rest of the time as long as we have for discussions. And then there will be a survey in the end where you can leave more comments. So let's get in the breakout groups. Hi. Good. So that was wonderful. But yeah.
So we have 5 minutes left.
Yeah, instead of 20 minutes discussion, we have 5. So let's just dive into it. Who wants to say something?
Let's either say something or give a quick recap of like the top 2 things that came up in your group. And if somebody wants to share those, that would be really great. Just as we can kind of encapsulate some of the ideas that were maybe shared in the breakout groups.
I took a couple of notes. So the idea of having some support to publication, and that could take different forms. Of course, writing workshops always helps, especially when we're writing about topics like this. But it could also be, for example, having a sharing inventory of what are the outlets that are the most probable to publish in. Because a lot of people incur rejection, and they're kind of, out of, they have a hard time being able to find the right journals. So having an idea on what the journals are. And then one of the ideas was generating global collaboration. So people in regions tend to collaborate more together. They're on the same time zone, etc. But how could we kind of create this dynamic where people can find, maybe we could do something at the global level or at the research committee level on pairing people up around common themes on research projects, something like that. But I see Ravi has his hand up, so.
Yes, go ahead, Ravi.
Yeah, I just wanted to distill some of my learnings today. The first learning is that money talks. I mean, the whole thing can be distilled into the monetary support that the Fetzer Foundation has provided for increasing scholarship, and that has to be applauded. And I think we should have more of it, as noted by Judy and so forth. More foundations should provide more support for scholarly research and collaborations. So I really applaud all that. And also the output is very clear, as Richard pointed out. That's very, very noteworthy, and kudos. But I belong to, I think, a minority of interested people in this group. The minority meaning I'm not really interested in scholarly collaborations. My engagement is more narrow. I'm in quest. Rather, I want to learn from what other people can provide me in terms of a spiritual quest. And as I noted in the chat, connecting current reality to the old wisdom that's out there, like Vedas and Bible and Torah and Buddhism, and all those have been noted. And I think Naida already talked about indigenous wisdom. So I'm more interested in such bridging back to the old wisdom that's out there and trying to get some benefit and guidance that can help us with respect to current problems we have. Yeah.
And sorry to cut you off, but one thing I just want to, because I know we're running out of time and I want to close and actually connect to what you're saying. In our breakout group, there were a few observations of the session today. And so I just want to leave with myself just saying one of those observations, which was that it seems like there was empathy between people, that people actually cared about each other, and that there was a sense that supporting each other so that you're successful in your own work or in your own journey. And I thought that that was a lovely observation. And the other observation was really about work, potentially having collaborations, for research, et cetera, which has already been said. But one of the things that I loved was an informal opportunity of just exchange. And so that's kind of a challenge sometimes of organizing something that's informal, because some people feel you have to have sort of a theme or a reason to go, but it could be learning opportunities or opportunities to share something that is going on. So it was just another direction, which was a more informal gathering, but knowing that that gathering will be nourishing. So I wanted to leave it with that. And I think it's to you, Constantine, to close.
Yeah, well, it's I have the worst job today by having to end this. For me, it's already midnight, so I don't mind going on, and we can go on and on and on. What I invite you to is to check out our program. We have interesting things coming up. On the left, you see the next event registration, so please scan that and register for it if you're interested and if you want to continue the conversation. And then to follow up on today's, please scan the feedback survey QR code, and maybe Tianyu, you can put the link in there as well. And send us your feedback. So whatever you discussed or whatever you didn't have time for sharing today, please put it in there. We don't want to switch this off when the Zoom call closes. We want this to continue, and we have great opportunities through our MSR Research webinar series, of course, through the Research Colloquium. That's the highlight in summer. But also, like you just said, Naida, what are these informal ways how we guys can come together from all over the world, and maybe find ways to get new funding or to start new projects or to just get all that knowledge of you wonderful people, Judy, Julia, Richard, Cherry. Cherry is here. I think the guy who started it all. We didn't even give him 1 second. So my last words, please fill out the survey, and I just hand it to you, Cherry, to say a last greeting to us all. And Xiaoan, to you in particular, again, thank you very much. And my research team, it was a blessing, a joy. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Constantine. It wasn't just me, it was me, Judy, Lee, Robbins, but yeah. All I can say is I'm very impressed and pleased with what's happening with MSR. Years ago, I didn't think we'd I didn't even want us to be a division, but I'm happy we're a division. But the main thing that I'm happy with is how everybody feels so welcome. I mean, that's something I've been wanting from the very beginning. We've created a community unlike, I think, any other academic community, especially in the Academy of Management. And while I think there might be still people there that think we're a bunch of woo-woos and, whatever, I say we should continue to do what we do, and we just bring the rest of the group along with us. And there's been real changes over the years, and I think the Academy's gotten more accepting of what we do. And I also want to back up what Richard was saying about the PDWs. I think we need more PDWs and less people presenting papers. I'm not saying we shouldn't have papers. I just think the PDWs are more interesting. So I just feel very happy and proud and want to, looking forward to the next 100 years. Well, I mean, I won't be here, but I'm looking forward to the next 100 years.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Anyone else with a last word?
how about since I kind of opened a little bit to close the circle, cannot thank you enough for your being, for hanging here. And this is one such a meeting where we started with 48, where 4 minutes passed, people at 12 or 1 o'clock midnight, we kept being 38. That's phenomenal. To be continued, guys. Sending all the blessings and the wishes, and would love to stay in touch with all of you. I send you and be connected on LinkedIn, for example. You never know what happens next. Deepest gratitude to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
See you soon.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This can just go on forever.
Thank you, Richard. We love it.
You can stop the recording probably now.